everyone. Welcome to Lilybug's Library. My name's Linda, and or welcome back if you've been here before. So I have a book to talk to you about today that I can't quit thinking about. Matter of fact, I even had dreams about it. So as strange as that sounds. So it is the latest book by Kristin Hannah. It comes out later on this year, and it's called The Women. So it starts off, the main character is Frances McGrath, and it starts off with her and her family having a party for her brother Finley, who is going off to the Vietnam War. So in her family, it is, they're pretty posh and quite well to do. Her father has a wall in his office called the Heroes Wall, where all the men in the family that have served are on this wall. And it's, his father is his grandfather, his great grandfather. Now, the father, Finley's father, that has the wall, he has never served. I can't remember why, whether it was medical or what it was, but or he just wasn't born in the right generation. I don't know. But anyway, he hadn't served, but all the other men in the family that had were up there. And apparently he talks about patriotism so much that people have pretty much forgotten that he didn't serve. So they're having this party for Finley, who's going off to the Vietnam War. And the father's acting like it's this grand adventure, right? His son's chance to serve, which, all well and good, but his daughter, Frances, is worried. She's scared of her brother going over there. She, somewhat understands it's not just a big party. And she's proud of Finley, but at the same time, she's a little frustrated that what she's expected to do is get married and have children. And so in the midst of all this, she goes into her father's study and she's, just kind of wanders in there to get away from the crowd. And her brother's friend, Rye, I think his name is, he comes into the room and he's talking to her and he tells her that women can be heroes too. So she kind of puts this in the back of her mind. So once her brother goes off to war, she's thinking about this more and more, and she decides she's going to enlist. She has finished nurses training, but really has no experience. And what they are letting her do is very minimal. So she decides that she's going to go over there and see Finley and be able to be a help. So she does this. She tries first. She tries to enlist in the Air Force and the Navy, and neither one will take her. But then she contacts the Army, and they agree. Yes, she can go over there and be a nurse. So she does this. She enlists, and then she goes home to tell her parents, thinking that her father will be proud of her because she too will serve. And of course, they're not proud at all. They're very upset. And, a woman has no place being in, a war zone and all the rest of it. But anyway, she's, already enlisted. There's nothing that can be done. So she goes off to serve in the war. And it's so well done when she gets there and she's in the midst of like the mud and the blood and the noise and this cacophony of sounds and smells and unlike anything she's ever seen. And of course she's very new and very green in a lot of ways. She grew up very sheltered with a very nice upper class kind of life. She's been a good girl her whole life and never done anything against what her parents would want. And so she's very overwhelmed by all of this. And of course, the first thing that happens when she gets there is, there's casualties coming in. She's needed. So she goes in, hits the ground running kind of thing. And so she's trying to deal with all of this and really, doing a fairly good job, but it's a lot. And she's, I think 21, 22, somewhere around that age. So she ends up making friends there. Two ladies who go on to be who really are her support system. So one's name is Ethel, and one is Barb. Barb, I believe, I know I'm going to get the two of them mixed up. Barb, I believe, is a black woman from, I think, a farm in, no, maybe she wasn't. I think Ethel was from a farm in Kentucky or somewhere, and then I think Barb was maybe from Chicago or somewhere. Anyway, it doesn't matter. They're really her lifeline through all this. They help to support her. They help to kind of train her in what she needs to know. I mean, the first thing she does is drink some water there before anybody tells her not to, and she gets sick. So they're telling her, you don't drink the water, and you never salute outside because, the Viet Cong are watching and they'll, shoot whoever you're saluting because they know that they're an officer. And so anyway, it's a lot of this. And then her trying to just kind of adjust to what life is like there. And so she's there a long time. And then you'll get occasional times like she gets to go on R&R, not very often, but now and again. And so she has spent, months covered in dirt and blood and living in this place that has rats and just I don't know, in a way I can't even begin to understand. But then all of a sudden she'll get R&R and she'll like pack a dress and a little bit of, makeup and stuff, and they take her on a helicopter to someplace far away from this, and she gets a couple days where she can feel human again. And then it's right back into it again. So it's a lot. So the book goes through, I don't want to give too much away, but the book goes through her whole life there. And then it goes into what happens when vets start to come back from the war. And for anyone who has lived through Vietnam or who has knows anything about it, which I think most of at least people in North America do, it she didn't come home, or the vets didn't come home to any nice parade. For the most part, they came home to a lot of protests, a lot of things that were not, they didn't feel like the World War II vets that were celebrated. They felt very much that they had been maligned and lied to, and it was a hot mess. So it's very much also about everything that happens after the war or during the war as people come home and how they're treated, and then it goes into how they feel, and it was kind of the first time I think that it really became noticeable how much there was PTSD and there was health problems from Agent Orange, and there's a lot that goes on. Like I said, I don't want to give a lot away, but it just focuses on all of the Vietnam War and the fallout from that as well, right? Like it's not just the part about serving over there. So anyway, it was an incredible book. Like I said, I dreamt about it. I couldn't put it down. We had company over the weekend, and it was when I would go to bed at night, I'm reading and reading and reading far too late into the night. But it was amazing, and I really love all of her books that I've read, but I think this is her best work yet. I really do. And that's saying something since I really like The Nightingale and other ones. And so I was super impressed at the amount of research she must have done for this. And I thought it was a really good story that really kind of hits home or with how everything went down with that in the 60s and 70s. And so anyway, totally can't recommend it enough. I was super excited, and I thank NetGalley and the publisher and Kristin Hannah that I got to read it. I got an advance copy of it, so when it comes out, highly recommend it. I give it 5 out of 5 or more if I could. I just thought it was amazing. So looking forward to hearing what everybody's opinions about it are when they read it. And yeah, can't wait for everyone to get a chance to see what it's like. All right. Hope you have a great day. Bye bye.